In the previous tutorial, you learned how to pull a report from Encore and format the Excel spreadsheet that is created. This tutorial will show how to check to see that baseline data is accurate. First, you may want to do a scan of the names and grade levels of your focus list youth and make sure that they are all there and accurate. More importantly, look at the start date for each of your focus list youth. Remember that the start date is the day you began providing support to a student on your focus list. If your site supervisor or youth success team prepared your focus list for you and shared the names with you on September 1st, your first day, you likely didn't begin to provide support for every student that first day. Additionally, since you were not trained on your data tracking responsibility until the end of September or the first week of October, a start date around this time is acceptable for your early focus list youth. Looking at these start dates, they are for the most part accurate. However, I can see some inaccuracies that need to be fixed. First, a start date of December 2nd, 2001 was probably meant to be a student's birthday or was a typo. September 1st could be a possibility. Just think back to if you were actually providing support on that very first day. December 4th start date is impossible since it is in the future. You should not create profiles for students until you begin supporting them, since you do not have the ability to delete them, and it's possible you may never serve them. Finally, an August 24th start date is impossible since every AmeriCorps Promise Fellow's official first day of service was September 1st. You cannot begin serving a student before the official start day. In order to make fixes to start dates or any information in the report that relates to student demographics, start and end dates, or baseline data, you will have to go back to the student profile and make edits on Encore. Next, we look at multiple start and end dates. This early into the year, November, there aren't many reasons why a student would have made multiple transitions on and off your focus list. That is, there aren't many reasons a student should go through the cycle of beginning to receive your support and then stop receiving your support within a short period of time. Student Jane Doe has a start date of September 21st and then an end date of October 5th. Promise Fellows should provide consistent support for students for a significant amount of time. 2 weeks is not a significant amount of time. If that is the case, think about if Jane should have been on your focus list at all. If she shouldn't have been, contact your trainer at the Alliance and they can remove the student from your focus list on Encore. Test student has been taken off the focus list and then put back on 2 weeks later. This also shouldn't be happening. Again, Promise Fellows are providing consistent support for a significant amount of time. Students should not be transitioning on and off the focus list for such short periods of time. Moving along, you can double check intervention types. These are the reasons a student was put on your focus list. Now we check the actual data you entered for baseline data. Remember that baseline data is the before picture of a student's ABCs. It captures the student standing before you began providing support. Start by checking the time period and number time period to see if they make sense and match up. Ideally, baseline data is coming from the semester or school year before you began providing support. So because it is currently school year 2015-2016, we want data from school year 2014-2015. You can see that for student Ashley Johnson, the time period was full year and year was 2014-2015 academic school year. If you were to fix any issues here, you would go back and edit the reporting period and reporting period number in the student profile. Not only are we checking to make sure that time period and number time period match up and make sense, but we want to see how they match up to the start date. Because remember that baseline data and start date cannot overlap. We can see that Fake Student and Jeff Test both used September 2015 for their reporting period, but both of their start dates are in September. This is not possible because baseline data and start date cannot overlap. If data from the previous school year cannot be obtained, then Promise Fellows shouldn't be providing support for these students until October 1st in order to use September 2015 for baseline reporting period. Makeup has a time period of quarter 1, 2015-2016, but their start date is October 26th. As long as quarter 1 ended before October 26th, this is fine. Their start date and baseline data do not overlap. Now check the number of days in reporting period. These are the number of school days in the reporting period. So for example, Annie's baseline is from the 14-15 school year, and the number of days is 180, which is right because it is not including weekends, holidays, or breaks. Only instructional days. Fake student reported 1 day in the time period. However, the time period selected is for a month of reporting. This is clearly not right. Maybe they meant to type 21 for 21 instructional days in 1 month. To fix this, Promise Fellows need to go back into the student profile and update the number of days in the reporting period for the baseline data. Lastly, the Alliance asks that absences are reported in days, not period. So Annie and Jeff will need their student profiles edited to be updated and record absences in days. If weeks of daily ABCs have already been tracked in periods for Annie and Jeff, those would also need to be updated. A quick way to review the data is to look at percentages. Seeing -500% for fake student would be a red flag that something is off. Usually percentages greater than 100 or less than 0 are a result of an error in the number of days in the reporting period. Now that these errors have been noted, go back onto Encore and edit the baseline data. Use the same process of reviewing the reports to check the Behavior tab. The Academic tab has only 3 baseline items to check: Academic Score, Score Type, and Homework Score, so it is very easy to sort for missing information. As you add students to your focus list, continue to run reports and review the accuracy of your baseline data. You can filter to see the students that have been recently added since the previous time you checked the quality of baseline data.